Cowboys, and happy Friday. I'm Sierra Williams, and we have an exciting show today to get you all caught up on what's been happening in the last couple of days. The world has been abuzz this week, talking all about the stock market, more specifically, stocks in specific companies like GameStop and AMC. In the Reddit thread r/Wall Street bets, amateur stock investors decided to go against hedge fund managers that were betting that GameStop would lose in order to cost the hedge fund managers large sums of money before GameStop was a failing company, which is why short sellers on the stock market were using it to profit off of the company's loss. Now, stocks in GameStop can go for as high as $380, making it now one of the most traded stocks on the market. This shift in power brings better checks and balances to the trading world. Now the average stock investor is going to have a bigger say with the Wall Street Bets group, now acting as one of the largest hedge funds. Reddit co-founder Alexis Ohanian said the GameStop trading is, quote, "the public doing what they feel has been done to them by institutions and is a perfect storm at a time when lots of people are hurting. Interest rates are so low, inescapable student loan debts loom, and every major institution has caught losses during a global pandemic over the last year. This is something to believe in," end quote. Now, Dylan Walker catches us up on all things entertainment news.
Hello, Cowboy family. Happy Friday and welcome back to The Spill with Dill, Oklahoma State's and your source for everything entertainment news. I hope everyone had a fantastic break. A lot of exciting stuff happened over the holiday break and I just can't wait to share it with you all. So, let's get into it. After only 10 months of waiting, the third season of All-American finally aired on January 18th. Based off various sources, it seems that Season 3 will have around 16 episodes that will be released every Monday. The official CW synopsis tells viewers that for this season, they can expect Spencer to be feeling a little bit on edge after some backlash from a previous interview. Coop and Layla will be returning from tour, and Billy is looking forward to a fresh start. And a whole lot of drama to follow it up. Kenny Chesney's No Shoes Reef organization made a huge impact off Florida's Atlantic coast. Chesney's group, as well as others, came together and donated and installed 13 different reef balls on the ocean floor in Delray Beach off Palm Beach County. These reef balls are 7 by 6 feet concrete domes that have round holes to replicate the reef. The domes will make up a 32-acre underwater reef park known as No Shoes Reef 4. On a celebratory note, singer and female icon Halsey announced that she and her boyfriend Alex Aiden are pregnant with their first baby. On January 27th, Halsey posted her official announcement on her Instagram, with Alex also confirming the exciting news by a comment, "My heart is so full, I love you, sweetness," and then reposting her post on his Instagram story. Halsey unfortunately suffered from a miscarriage while on tour in 2015, but is taking extra precautions this time to make sure everything goes well. Previous Baywatch actress Pamela Anderson secretly married her bodyguard boyfriend Dan Hayhurst over the holiday season. She claims she is exactly where she needs to be, in the arms of a man who truly loves her. The two reveal they fell madly in love over the pandemic, and with a blessing from both families, they proceeded in marriage. Their intimate wedding took place on Christmas Eve on the property she bought for her grandparents 25 years ago, the same location her parents had their wedding ceremony. Bachelorette Claire Crawley and ex-fiancé Dale Moss are officially broken up. After just 5 months after their broadcasted proposal, Dale and Claire have called it quits. Although it remains unannounced what really pushed this couple to their breaking point, sources revealed that the two were having reoccurring conflicts regarding relocating and when they wanted to have children. Fans suspected that something was wrong after some suspicious activity from the two, but all rumors were confirmed once Claire and Dale finally posted their separate announcements on their personal Instagram accounts. In the Valentine's season, Kraft decided that they will be releasing a limited edition pink candy-flavored mac and cheese. The company is taking an alternative to the traditional Valentine's Day gifts and changing it up with a cheesy treat that comes with a hint of sweet. Only 1,000 boxes of this mac and cheese will be given away to select customers after filling out a form of entry. So if that's something that sounds good to you and reminds you of love, then you better sign up quick because entries close on February 8th. That's all the tea I have for you today, folks. Thank you again for tuning into this week's episode of The Spill with Dill. I hope you all have a great weekend and stay warm.
Thanks, Dylan. Be sure to tune in every Friday to get the update from Dylan. Many parts of the developing world are being left behind in the race for vaccines. We have more on that story for you now.
In Western countries, the first coronavirus vaccines arrived with great fanfare, generating excitement and hope. But in most of the world's poorer countries, like Pakistan, vaccine distribution hasn't even begun. This hospital in Karachi is so full, there aren't enough beds for all the COVID-19 patients.
We are full, we have patients waiting, we have families who are suffering, we have patients at home, sick patients at home, patients who are on oxygen, who just don't have space in hospitals.
Dr. Nashwa Ahmed says she's discouraged at the lack of available vaccines.
The vaccine is not here in this country for the foreseeable future. That means our healthcare workers still have to continue to do their jobs, endless hours without the protection of the vaccine. It's very difficult.
Help is on the way. The COVAX facility is a global initiative established after the start of the pandemic. It has the ambitious goal of distributing some 2 billion doses of vaccine by the end of 2021.
This is an unprecedented effort. We have never rolled out this number of vaccines in this short time.
Most of the doses are to be given to the world's 92 poorest countries for free.
The COVAX facility is really built around fair and equitable access so that no country and no person who needs the vaccine is left behind regardless of their economic status.
COVAX is a partnership of several international health organizations. It will distribute vaccines through UNICEF, which has considerable experience leading vaccination campaigns against other diseases in the developing world. But COVAX distribution isn't expected to start until February, in part due to the long wait for the World Health Organization to approve vaccines for emergency use.
Countries are looking at COVAX and don't see yet vaccines arriving, while they see some countries are making bilateral deals, and that creates kind of a panic.
Some wealthier countries have been scooping up limited supplies of COVID vaccine for themselves.
Vaccine nationalism is the evil twin of COVAX. A lot of the countries that signed up for COVAX, the high-income countries in particular, hedged their bets by putting in pre-orders for COVID-19 vaccines.
The head of the WHO denounces this practice.
I need to be blunt. The world is on the brink of a catastrophic moral failure. And the price of this failure will be paid with lives and livelihoods in the world's poorest countries.
While it waits for COVAX, the Pakistani government expects to receive a welcome gift of 500,000 doses of Chinese Sinopharm vaccine in coming days, a drop in the bucket for a population of more than 200 million. Even when the vaccine rolls out, convincing a skeptical public to take it may be an uphill battle.
Why would I get vaccinated? There's no such thing as corona. It's a lie.
Defeating the virus will also require fighting mistrust of government and the spread of disinformation.
Thanks for that. Next, we'll take a quick break, and when we come back, Josh Weissel will give us that weather for the Daily O. I'm Sierra Williams.
Hi, I'm Will Joyce, the Mayor of Stillwater. As Mayor, it's my responsibility to help develop plans for a variety of resident needs, including roads, emergency services, and utilities. Some of those services are paid for with federal money that the government distributes to states and communities based on Census Bureau data. This is your tax money coming back to our community, but if you or your household aren't counted, we lose nearly $1,200 per person to places like Texas, Kansas, and Arkansas. So help bring that money back to local communities by filling out the 2020 census. This year, it's easy to do. You'll receive a postcard in March 2020 with a unique code for your address. Using that code, simply go online, call, or request a paper copy of the census and fill it out. I want to make sure that you and your whole household are counted in the 2020 census. It's important not just to Stillwater, but to all of Payne County.
All right, and welcome back. I'm Joshua Weisel here in my makeshift Ocali Storm Studios, once again taking a quick look at the forecast. We're going to be starting off with the weather headlines across the area. Showers and storms, like we mentioned on the Wednesday broadcast, are possible late tonight into tomorrow, as well as a bad hair day tomorrow after the system pushes through with all of its rain as well. We're talking winds between 25 to almost 50 miles an hour, so keep that in mind for tomorrow. And then a big cool down will be across a large portion of the plains, including Oklahoma, for the second week in February. I'll get to that coming up in just a second. But we're going to start off with this evening and tonight. We're seeing partly cloudy to mostly cloudy skies for the rest of the day. That cloud coverage will increase overnight as we have rain chances off and on past the midnight hour. Overall, we're going to see temperatures in the 50s, dipping into the 40s as well. And then here's a look at tomorrow afternoon across the area, a high of 64, so it's going to be warmer than it was the past couple of days before that front moves through. Widespread showers and storms are possible across the area. I'm talking closer to about 80 to 100% rain coverage based off of the latest model trends for Stillwater, so keep that in mind tomorrow. You'll want an umbrella or to stay indoors. It's going to be a wet start to the day, maybe some clearing by the afternoon. And here's those rain chances for tomorrow. So overall, a large majority of the state's going to likely see some type of rain coverage, and we're seeing some higher coverage across our area and areas to the east near Tulsa as that front pushes through. There's even a small severe weather risk out east of our area as well. So this is not necessarily including the Oklahoma State Stillwater area, but it's something to monitor, as it means we cannot rule out maybe a handful of some stronger storms, not necessarily severe, but capable of producing some gusty winds, let's say between 30 and 50 miles an hour. Just to ease any fears, the overall severe weather threat for tomorrow is low, and we're not technically in that risk area, but it's just something to watch because the atmosphere will be capable of producing some maybe marginally severe storms, but nothing catastrophic or major whatsoever. So I haven't shown this before, but this is our Futurecast radar. I'm going to start by now and moving into late tonight into overnight hours. This is overnight tonight. Some showers and storms possible across the Stillwater area. These will be patchy and pop up, so not everyone's going to see this activity. But as we head into early tomorrow by around noon, we're going to start to see that activity increase in coverage, and you can even see where that storm system is going to be moving through with a spin as it moves through Kansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, and parts of Arkansas. So that's a look at our Futurecast radar for tomorrow. And then, just real quickly, this is around February 7th, is when we're going to see a big Arctic blast of air move into the plains, and this is that cool down for the second week of February that I mentioned. And as you can see, Arctic air from Canada is going to make its way into the southern plains. We're talking temperatures maybe in the 20s or lower based off of this model reading. So we're going to be keeping a close eye on this. It looks like the second week of February we could have a few shots at some Arctic air like this that'll cool down our temperatures quite significantly. All right, so here's our 7-day forecast across the areas. You can see Friday, Saturday, another system is going to be moving through, as I mentioned, late tonight into tomorrow. And another system will arrive Wednesday, Thursday. That will also bring some storm chances. For the next couple of days, as we start next week, as you can see, early Monday and early Tuesday, you'll want to grab a jacket before you head out to class. Otherwise, pleasant week ahead, except for rain chances on late Wednesday and into Thursday, so just keep that in mind. Thank you guys for tuning in. Stay tuned for sports coming up right after this.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Daily O. I'm Griff McClellan, and let's get you caught up on all the sports news as you head into the weekend. The OSU men's and women's basketball teams are back in action tomorrow, with the men hosting an SEC versus Big 12 matchup as Arkansas travels west to Stillwater. The women will be traveling themselves as they head to Lawrence, Kansas to take on the Jayhawks. The women were in action this past Wednesday when the Cowgirls played Texas. It was a back-and-forth battle in the first half, with neither team able to break away from each other. But the third quarter was all OSU, as they held the Longhorns to 8 points and dropped 20 to the lead by 15. And then after a solid fourth quarter, the Cowgirls held on to win 68-51. Natasha Mack starred again as she stuffed the stat sheet with 21 points, 15 rebounds, and 6 blocks. The Cowgirls tip off at 4 p.m., and the Cowboys are 1 hour earlier at 3. The NFL season is coming to a close soon, with Super Bowl 55 closing out a crazy year for all of us involved. As with every season, coaches are in and out of certain teams. And the last coaching spots were filled yesterday, with the Texans hiring Ravens assistant David Culley. Other positions include the New York Jets hiring former 49ers defensive coordinator Robert Saleh. The LA Chargers hired former Rams defensive coordinator Brandon Staley. The Atlanta Falcons are hiring former Titans offensive coordinator Arthur Smith. The Jacksonville Jaguars, who hold the first pick in the upcoming NFL draft, took a chance on former Ohio State coach Urban Meyer to lead their young roster. The Philadelphia Eagles hired former Colts defensive coordinator Nick Sirianni. And the Lions hired former Saints assistant Dan Campbell. Out of all the jobs available, the toughest was unquestionably the Texans' job, as their roster and front office situation is in disarray. Culley's first task would normally be organizing meetings and getting on the same page with all the players. Instead, he now will oversee one of the biggest times in Texans history, the Deshaun Watson trade. Watson announced yesterday that after a wild year of roster moves by the front office, headlined by trading away one of the game's best receivers, DeAndre Hopkins, he wants out of Houston. Watson cited not being consulted with on different roster moves and who the next general manager would be as reasons to leave. The Texans now face the difficult task of what a Deshaun Watson trade package looks like. Watson is one of the best young quarterbacks in football right now, so finding a fair deal is going to be tough. Favorite destinations for Watson include the Jets, Dolphins, and the Patriots. Texans GM Nick Caserio has said the team has zero interest in trading Watson. We will keep you updated on this situation. Also this weekend is what would have been the NFL's Pro Bowl. The annual event was canceled due to COVID-19. The teams were still announced a few weeks ago, and in place of the event, it will be a celebration of the players hosted by ESPN, which will highlight the rosters, have interviews, and showcase the top plays of the year. Not to mention EA Sports having players go head-to-head with teams on Madden. In other news, in the NFL, former Seahawks offensive lineman Chad Wheeler is facing a felony domestic violence charge after being accused of viciously attacking his former partner in her home. Officers forced themselves into the home where he was arrested. Bail for Wheeler was set at $400,000, which he posted the following day. The Seahawks released a statement saying, quote, "The Seahawks are saddened by the details emerging against Chad Wheeler and strongly condemn this act of domestic violence," end quote. They went on to say he is a free agent and no longer with the team. Wheeler blamed this event on mental issues that he is now entering treatment for and stepping away from football. He is expected to enter a plea deal at his arraignment on February 9th. Moving now to the hardwood, the Oklahoma City Thunder are back in action tonight as they host the former Thunder stars Kevin Durant and James Harden and the Brooklyn Nets. The Thunder have not fared too well when hosting this season, with their record so far only 1-5 in home games. The Nets are looking to extend their 3-game win streak, but themselves are only 3-4 on the road this season. The last time these two teams met, it was the Thunder that came out with a 129-116 win, with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander scoring 31 points. The Nets, meanwhile, have since acquired James Harden from Houston to form a big three with Harden, Durant, and Kyrie Irving. That game tips off tonight at 7. Last night in the NBA saw a big upset happen when LeBron and the LA Lakers were soundly beaten by the last-place Detroit Pistons. The Lakers were without Anthony Davis on a night where the Pistons caught fire. Blake Griffin dumped 23 points, and former Laker Wayne Ellington dropped 20 points, shooting 7 of 12 from the field, including 6 three-pointers. Final they were Pistons 107, Lakers 92. With this loss, the Lakers now face their first losing streak of the season, albeit now just 2 games after their loss to the Sixers Wednesday night. The Australian Open is set to begin February 8th, and many big names are overseas preparing for the tournament. The Open will be the first Grand Slam of 2021 and was originally slated for the 18th of January, but it was decided to push it back to give time for those traveling in to have extra time for quarantine and training. Today was the first exhibition leading up to the Open, and it showcased Serena Williams playing Naomi Osaka, Rafael Nadal playing U.S. Open champion Dominic Thiem, and maskless crowds. This is the first big maskless crowd at a sporting event we have seen since the start of the pandemic. The crowd was there to watch exhibitions. More crowds like these are expected due to Australia's current COVID-19 outlook, which is very positive. That will do it for sports tonight, but before we let you go, if you want even more sports news, make sure and tune in to our new daily sports show, The Sports Report, debuting this Monday at 12:30. Thank you so much for tuning in to our show today. You can keep up with all things Daily O at @DailyO_TV on social media. You can also watch our show on Amazon Fire Stick, Apple TV, Roku, and on Suddenlink Channel 112. We'll see you right back here on Monday. For the Daily O, I'm Griff McClellan. Have a great weekend, Cowboys.
Oh, there you go. Superstar.
The end of the practice is when we do all of our intensity drills.
Okay.
She was going at it.
Stop. If we get them to Detroit by, let's say Monday the 15th. Time's right there. There we go. Yeah. Just, you can't.
Don't want to talk about it.
When you see the water tower, you're gonna make a right.
If we win this, we have one way to get to the playoffs.
I know.